Have you ever felt like you want to change your life, but, you know, the small tweaks just aren't really cutting it? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty radical concept from a manual with an even more radical title, the Identity Collapse Manual. And the promise? To become completely unrecognizable to who you are right now in just 6 months. So let's start with a tough question, right out of the gate. Is your life built on a crooked foundation? I mean, really think about it. Are you repeating the same patterns, getting stuck in the exact same ruts? You ever have that feeling where no matter what you try, you just end up right back where you started? Yeah, that feeling, that's a huge sign of a deep structural problem. And see, when the problem is structural, a simple renovation, a new habit here, a small goal there, it's just not going to fix it. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a crumbling wall. This manual argues for something way more extreme, a full-scale demolition, tearing it all down so you can build something new, something strong, right from the ground up. All right, so let's dig into this problem. Let's talk about the crooked foundation and really get into why those small little fixes we all try, why they so often fail us in the long run. Okay, so you can see the contrast perfectly here. On the left, that's the crooked foundation. Life is defined by these old ingrained habits. You're just reactive, you're automatic, and it just leaves you feeling totally stuck. But on the right, that's the goal, the skyscraper self. A life that's purposeful, built on new systems that you actually designed. And that's what leads to you becoming, well, unrecognizable. And here's the thing to really get. This isn't about one single bad habit, like, say, hitting the snooze button. It's about the entire system underneath. Your beliefs, your automatic reactions, your daily routines that makes hitting the snooze button your default setting. The whole system is just misaligned. Which brings us to the solution the manual proposes. Now, the name sounds super intense, right? Identity collapse. But the key, the most important part is right there in the subtitle. This is a demolition by design. It's controlled, it's strategic, it has a crystal clear purpose. So what does that actually mean? Well, an identity collapse isn't some crisis that just happens to you. No, it's an intentional process. It's something you choose to do. You're strategically taking apart the pieces of yourself, the habits, the beliefs, the stories you tell yourself that just don't serve you anymore. And the goal isn't just to destroy stuff, it's to create the empty space you need to build something so much better. This quote, this is the perfect metaphor for the entire philosophy. Just think about it. Your biggest ambitions, your true potential, that's the skyscraper you want to build. But you can't build that massive, gleaming structure on the shaky, tiny foundation of your current habits and your limiting beliefs. That's the shack. You have to clear the entire site before you can build something magnificent. So, okay, how does this actually work in practice? Well, the whole process kicks off with the demolition phase. And this is all about consciously, systematically clearing the site for your new life. This phase has 3 key steps. First up, the radical audit. This is about being brutally honest with yourself. Not just saying, oh, I procrastinate. No, it's identifying exactly what you do. Like, I avoid my most important task by scrolling social media for an hour every single morning. Then comes step 2, the system purge. You actively eliminate those routines. Maybe you delete the apps, maybe you set a timer that locks you out. And finally, identity detachment. This is the mental game, consciously letting go of the story that I'm just a procrastinator to make room for a new one. All right, so once the ground is clear, once you've cleared away the rubble, you can shift to the really exciting part, the construction phase. This is where you stop looking at what you're leaving behind and you start architecting what you're building towards. This phase also has 3 steps. You start with your architectural blueprint. You design your future self with absolute clarity. So instead of a vague goal like, I want to be healthier, the blueprint says, I am a person who goes to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, period. Then comes habit installation. This is the methodical work of laying those bricks, one by one, like putting your gym clothes out the night before. And finally, system reinforcement. You actually engineer your environment to make it easier to succeed. Maybe you find a gym buddy or you prep your post-workout meals ahead of time, so success becomes the path of least resistance. So how does all this fit into that 6-month promise? This timeline breaks it down pretty clearly. Month 1 is all about planning, doing your audit and drawing up that blueprint. Months 2 and 3, that's the tough work of demolition. Months 4 and 5 are for construction, for installing those new habits. And by month 6, that new foundation is set and you are living in a brand new reality. So after all that work, what's the end game? What's the final outcome? It's about actually living that concept of becoming unrecognizable. It means you are now living inside the skyscraper that you so meticulously designed and built for yourself. Ultimately, this new version of you, this skyscraper self, is just fundamentally different. Your actions are purposeful because they're built on an intentional foundation. You're resilient. Those old negative patterns just don't have the same grip on you. Your beliefs and your behaviors are finally lined up. And in the best way possible, you've become completely unrecognizable. And it all comes back to this number, 6 months. It's such a powerful commitment. Look, it's not some overnight fantasy, but it's also not this vague, lifelong struggle. It's a defined, focused project. It has a clear end date, and the goal is a total personal transformation. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to just chew on. You don't have to start the whole demolition project today, but what's the first crack? What is the one single piece of your foundation that, if you just fix that one thing, could start to change everything?